This was an interesting one because I got invited to go on The Big Breakfast, which was a morning TV show in the United Kingdom. I'd been on there a number of times. Sometimes I was invited to come on with my UFO hat on, talking about UFOs, Men in Black, that sort of thing. Did some publicity for the Men in Black movie. And we also came on and talked about the Rendlesham incident. So I was no stranger to coming on this show. But they rang me up this day and asked me, would I come on and talk about moon conspiracies, whether or not they went to the moon, whether we'd landed on the moon or whether it was all a big fake. And I said, well, it's not my speciality subject, to be honest. I've heard some sort of discussion about it, but it's not necessarily my thing. I'm more into UFOs. And they said, oh, that's okay, well, just come on anyway, because we couldn't get the guests that we wanted to get, so just come on, you'll be fine. And I went, well, okay, but as long as you realize it's not my speciality subject, so I'm not really going to be able to do a hell of a lot for you. And they said, yeah, no, that'll be fine, just come on. So I came on anyway, and typical to style, they sort of stick you in a small shed before you go on. Don't offer you any tea or coffee. So you come all that way and then you just kind of like lumped into a shed, and then it's like, right, you're on, just get in here and be on. I'm like, okay. And they said, we want you to read from this script. They handed me a script, and it was like what I was supposed to say during the segment. And I said, well, I don't really believe what you're asking me to say here. This doesn't really sound like what I would like to say. And they were like, no, you have to read what's on the script. And I'm like, And they said, if you don't, you won't go on. And I just went, oh God, I can't believe this is like stupid behavior. So she said, yeah, whatever, yeah, that's fine. So I went on and I said what I wanted to say, because I'm not the type of person who's going to be told what to say. So basically my belief is that we did go to the moon, and I just think they've doctored the photos. So I kind of tried to portray this, and I portrayed that there were some things that went on the moon which weren't talked about, such as Gordon Cooper's UFO incident. So this is me on The Big Breakfast, and this is where they pull the stunt of bringing out Buzz Aldrin, which I wasn't expecting. It's really nice to see the gentleman, and I thought that was quite interesting, but he wasn't very happy with me.
Conspiracy theories, very big. I mean, the Kennedy shooting, the Kennedys involved with Marilyn Monroe's death, Elvis, is he alive, where is he now, Adolf Hitler, where is he now, people having conspiracy theories. One of the great conspiracy theories, of course, is the fear that the moon landing in 1969 by NASA was in fact, didn't happen. That happened in a studio. Now, with me this morning to explain more about this theory, Pete, and to you, is this own man himself, Matthew Williams. Good morning, Matthew.
Hello, Mark.
Now, let me just put this to you. You're a writer. You are a writer
Yes.
for a magazine. What's it called?
It's called Truth Seekers Review.
Truth Seekers Review. So you're after the truth.
Exactly.
Now, would it be fair to say that you are sceptical of NASA's documentation of the moon landings?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, there seems to be definite inconsistencies with the information that's been given out about the NASA moon landings.
Right. Well, can you give me 3 reasons? 3 of these discrepancies.
Well, say for instance now the moon hasn't got any atmosphere, which means...
Okay, which it hasn't.
Yes. So that means the light should come in a bit brighter.
Does it?
It does, yeah. 20% brighter, in fact.
20% brighter.
So if you can see stars on Earth, then if you're on the moon, you can definitely see the stars, and they should appear in photographs.
Right.
And they don't appear in the photographs of a lot of the NASA
I see.
releases. So where are the stars? Have they been airbrushed out, or was it perhaps that those photos were taken in a studio?
Okay, that's not a bad reason. Reason 2. Reason 2.
Well, if you notice, the astronauts tend to jump about a lot. And
Well, wouldn't you?
well, yeah, exactly. This taken on film means that you can obviously see the time that they're in the air.
Yeah.
And scientists have said that they shouldn't be in the air for that long because the gravity is a lot greater than is normally sort of...
Than we've been led to believe.
Led to believe, yeah. So it shouldn't actually take that long for them to come back down.
According to who?
Scientists who look into this, people from NASA.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So that slow motion thing that we always pastiche,
So there's people from
we're
NASA.
actually moving a bit slow, do you think?
Yeah, that's right.
Ah, okay. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. Number
And,
3.
Well, if you look at some of the photos maybe of the footprints on the moon.
Yeah, the classic photographs.
That's right, yeah.
Beautiful indentation.
That's right, the first footprints on the moon. You've got very sharp edges and defined walls where the boot has actually gone into the earth.
Into the dust.
That's right. And basically what you have to realize is there's no moisture on the moon, and any dust wouldn't line up like that. That's the type of thing you get with mud and earth. You don't get that on
How
the
do
moon.
you know you haven't been there, Matthew?
Well, no, I have to speak to the scientists who tell me these things.
But if there's if there's light of gravity and you go poof, poof, it's not going to fall down, is it? It's going to start because it's like a helium-filled balloon. It's going to hang up there. It's not going
not for
it's not
too
going to fall
long.
down like Earth. It's not. Well,
That's right, but to have more inclined walls would be the natural.
so why do you think NASA went to all this trouble then?
I think there may be something on the moon they didn't want people to know about. It may be connected with UFOs because there's a lot of evidence to say that NASA has been hiding stuff about UFOs which have been seen on the moon and photographs which have been taken
I see.
of these UFOs.
Let's just call the truth is out there.
Truth
No,
seekers.
truth
would do.
seekers.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Okay. Well, that's your side of the story. We actually have someone in the building, in the house,
Right.
who has, I think, a different opinion to you, Matthew.
Well,
We actually are now going to meet someone who actually walked on the moon, Matthew, the second man on the moon, Buzz Aldrin. Buzz, so fantastic to meet you.
How are you?
I'm very well indeed.
nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
Okay.
Buzz, please take a seat.
Okay.
If that's okay. It's okay if I call you Buzz.
Of course.
I mean, I followed, well, not so much followed your career, but I certainly was there on that day on the telly watching
You were there.
on the TV.
Okay.
I was virtually there before they'd even talked about
We were
virtual.
there.
You were there. Now, could you say that again to Matthew? Look at Buzz Aldrin. Could you just say that again to Matthew? He's from this magazine called
Yes, I know.
Truth Seekers.
And
I think he
was
needs to have a
watching
chat
it.
to
I saw
you.
that, yeah.
Could you say that again?
We were there.
Oh, yes.
We really were there.
Okay, right.
Well, okay, no, come on. Let's go through this scientifically, Buzz. Well, let's go through this scientifically. But Matthew's saying that where were the pictures? Where was the stars in the photographs on the moon? Now, is it true that actually you were in a lot of the photographs and Neil was taking most of the photos?
Yeah, Neil was taking most of the pictures. But early in space flight, we went up there and we said you can't see stars during the daytime because the light is so bright that it causes the pupils of your eyes to shut down. And on the surface of the moon, the light that hits the surface is so bright that, again, it closes it down. Now, if the sun was being eclipsed or if it was nighttime on the moon, you'd see wonderful lots and lots of stars, just like you see stars here.
Right.
But it's your eyes. If you dig a deep hole, I'm told, and you get down at the bottom of a well and you look up, even during the daytime, you can see stars because of your eyes, even though the light lights up the atmosphere. That's why we can't see stars. The stars are there all the
And
time.
it'd be similar through the camera. Do you think the camera would react the same way?
Of course.
Because we're talking
Yeah.
1969 technology, aren't we? And television cameras as well and stuff like that. I mean, that's old.
Well,
that's
that's
old
right.
technology.
You would have to have a camera that would keep out all the rest of the light, and then it would look up and it would be able to see the stars.
Right. Why did NASA airbrush out some of the photos then? Because there's definite evidence.
Nobody airbrushed out anything.
There's definite evidence of things being taken out.
I think you airbrushed it, or someone else did.
No, not me.
Well,
So Neil didn't step down the ladder and see someone go, oh my God, look at that, oh crikey, and they airbrushed that all out and they put that about, and you got rid of the alien and then went back to the broadcast to Earth. No. What about the second point about the hopping and the gravity on the moon? You should have been in the air longer. What's this all about?
Well, we
What a sensation.
rehearsed in aircraft that could establish 1/6 gravity,
Yeah.
so that we felt we understood how we would move around. But until you get to that gravity field, you just can't create 1/6 gravity anywhere on Earth because the Earth is always pulling you down. You always have that one gravity. You have to get somewhere and then create the 1/6
So-
gravity. So we had a rough idea what it would be like.
And those experiments,
but
was
once
it close?
we got there, then we started bouncing around, and that was it.
Was it close to what your training had taught?
Very close, very close. And it
Very
was
close
very
indeed.
easy to move around, and it was like slow motion.
So is the gravity, is that the same situation with the footprints and why the dust would not fall in, or what am I
Well,
saying?
the dust really, it depends on the consistency of the material there. And we had no idea what that was like until we brought back some pieces of the moon and found that it was very much like talcum powder. And talcum powder will form those walls. And,
does too.
And it was so surprising to me when I first put my foot down and moved that I took that picture of my boot print. And then I
Good
thought,
photo.
well, now
Did you get
it looks very lonesome. Let me take a picture of the boot.
Great
But then you
photo.
can't see the print.
Do you get paid for that photo?
So I
No, it's
moved
very
my
nice.
boot away so I could see both the print and the boot.
And did you stick a bit of moon dust in your pocket?
No.
For yourself? Or?
No.
Do you get to keep the
remember
footage?
we were in quarantine when we came
That's
back?
right, and you're-
Because
you're in
we
the army and
thought
stuff.
there might possibly,
Air Force.
very remotely, 1 in a billion or 10 billion chance, there might be some germs there that could be very toxic to people back here on Earth. So that's
Exactly.
why we were in quarantine.
There you go. There's Matthew Skeptic. What do you think?
He's never
In-
gonna believe
in-
it.
He's
You know,
never going to
and he-
believe
And I
it.
can
I
say
believe
all I
you,
want.
Buzz, mate. I believe you. I know you were there. We know he was there. We saw him.
Unfortunately, you can't solve it by taking a boat on it either.
No,
That
exactly.
doesn't change the truth.
Can I just ask one question before
Cool.
we go
One
on?
short, quick question.
What is your opinion on Gordon Cooper coming forward and saying he's seen UFOs when he was up there?
Gordon Cooper may have seen a lot of things, but I can't
That's
vouch
right.
one way or another for what he's seen and when he's seen it.
Did you see any?
No.
Wow. That's a
And
shame.
you'd tell us, wouldn't you, Buzz?
Of course I would.
Of course you would. Yeah, I saw a couple, he'd say, but no, he didn't.
I'm
Buzz,
with-
thanks very much.
Thank
I'm
you.
with Gordon
Okie
Cooper.
dokie. Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Good on you, Matthew. And we now move across to Diane Ladd and Vanessa.